Real stories, real mishaps, the kind of adventure no itinerary can plan for. My name is Alia and I'm your travel storyteller, and today we have the founder of Buku Merah himself, Ben!
Hello!
And this is Sembang Terbang! Okay, I have a question for Ben. So why Sembang Terbang? I mean, for this podcast name, it's like Sembang Kencang. So why is it Sembang Terbang? What's the idea behind that actually?
Okay. Thank you, Alia, for that question. Actually, let me macam introduce myself first.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So, you guys can call me Ben.
Okay.
I actually am a founder of Project Buku Merah Vacation Sdn Bhd. I dah buat company ni for 2 years, and previously, I memang ada pengalaman dalam bidang travel. I've worked in travel agency for 2 years. Then I set up my own company. So this is coming to our 2nd year already of Project Buku Merah Vacation. And personally, I dah travel to 22 countries.
That's
Jadi, I rasa I macam nak sharekan my experience travelling. And that's why the name of the podcast is Sembang Terbang lah, sebab kita nak sembang, nak kata kencang tu tidak, tapi kita sembang-sembang travel lah. I can share lah whatever I have, whatever experience that I dah encounter. I would like to share my experience with you guys. Macam tu.
Oh my God, that is insane. 22 countries.
Yeah.
Banyak tu.
Alhamdulillah rezeki.
Alhamdulillah. So, if I may know, how long have you been traveling? When did you start traveling?
To be honest, dulu masa I kecil-kecil, I tak datang daripada family yang macam kaya dan mampu untuk travel ke luar negara. I rasa macam dulu masa zaman sekolah, I pernah travel sekali pergi Indonesia sebab I join gamelan team. So kita orang pergi Indonesia, Tasikmalaya. So I rasa that was my first trip ever in my life yang pergi overseas. And then lepas tu I pergi Vietnam with my family one time. And then after SPM, I pergi Singapore with my friends. And that's that. I pergi buat degree, I buat diploma in culinary arts, and then I buat degree in tourism planning and development. Tapi masa tu it's COVID, lockdown, we were supposed to travel a lot, tapi kita orang macam just belajar dalam komputer je, dalam laptop je, so tak ada the chance. And then lepas tu I kerja travel agency, then only I boleh travel. And masa tu I ingat lagi, masa awal-awal I kerja, macam I boleh kira pakai jari je berapa hari I ada kat Malaysia.
Seriously?
Yeah. The rest of the time I macam travel je. Macam turun flight malam, pagi tu I dah fly balik. Malam I sampai, lepas tu travel macam sebulan lebih. I sampai Malaysia, I cuci-cuci baju, lepas tu I travel lagi lah, macam tu. So it was fun and hectic. Macam I enjoyed lah working in travel industry.
I see. So it's like thank you for coin laundries kalau tak kering your baju.
Betul. I rasa kalau I nak kena basuh and jemur sendiri, memang dah lama dah tertinggal flight.
Oh my God.
Baiklah, sekarang banyak self-service laundry yang macam masuk 30 minutes basuh, lepas tu 30 minutes kering, dah I pack terus fly balik. Macam tu.
Okay, that's insane. So that's why you want to do Sembang Terbang. I almost say Sembang Kencang. Sembang Terbang. Put it in your mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to do Sembang Terbang, because you want to share to the world the experience that you had while you're traveling the world, right?
Betul. And also I rasa I nak inspire orang lah. Kalau you guys nak travel, tapi korang tak ada the chance yet. Macam macam kadang-kadang orang macam betul-betul nak pergi travel tapi tak ada kesempatan lagi, tak ada peluang lagi. So you can listen first to my experience. Nanti dah lama-lama bila you dah ada rezeki, you guys boleh travel, enjoy betul-betul, and I don't know, make your dreams come true lah. Macam tu.
Manifest it, guys.
Yes, manifesting.
That's like a different, but okay, it's okay, acceptable. But if I may know, how old you are, because you said that you want to inspire others, and like you say, you didn't get to travel much when you were a student back then. So before you start working at the travel agency, so may I know how old you are?
How old am I?
If boleh, or just give me the year so that they can do their own calculation.
Okay. tapi kalau macam just looking from my face, you rasa umur berapa?
Okay, I rasa kita sebaya.
Okay.
Betul tak? Are we?
I was born in 1998.
Okay.
Sama ke?
Sama.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we just leave it at that. So
Okay.
please do your own calculation. All right. So, meaning, okay, you're like 1998. So, how long was it? Macam you say you just started the whole travel thingy after you start working, right? So, how long is the duration for that? I mean, how long has it been?
So in total I cerita in total I kerja in travel industry, campur dengan I punya my own company and also my previous company that I work for. I rasa dekat 4 tahun dah juga sebenarnya.
Wait, so you're telling me you travel to 22 countries
Yep.
in 4 years?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. Sebab tu lah I cakap kat you tadi, I macam turun flight, naik flight, turun flight, naik flight. KLIA is like my second home already. Macam tu lah.
So is there like a specific duration, like how long you go to the trips usually? Atau
It depends sebab kadang-kadang kita ada trip yang macam back to back macam tu. I remember my first ever trip was to Switzerland.
okay.
That was my first ever trip and I stayed there for almost a month sebab I ada buat 2 trip. One is open trip and another one is a private trip.
Okay.
So satu trip dekat Switzerland macam 12 hari macam tu. So macam tu lah, bila back to back I adalah cuti macam sehari 2 hari then I sambung balik my second trip. So I stayed there for almost a month. Lepas tu I balik sekejap, I pergi, alamak second I tak ingat. Orang selalu ingat first je kan.
usually
second
the
tu I dah
first
tak ingat dah.
time.
Tapi it was around Europe jugalah. I rasa I went to Germany ke mana ke, I macam tu lah lebih kurang.
No, I mean, I know for sure that going to Switzerland is quite costly, right? And then you stayed there for almost a month.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, that's salute.
Ya, sebab tu lah I cakap it's a rezeki lah. Sebab I dulu tak mampu, lepas tu tiba-tiba first trip terus pergi Switzerland. Tempat yang macam kalau dekat Europe orang pakai currency euro, dekat Switzerland diorang pakai Swiss franc tau. And Swiss franc is way more expensive than euro. And I dapat that experience macam duduk kat sana macam bukan seminggu, bukan 2 minggu, dekat
It's a
sebulan.
You
Macam tu.
literally macam pindah sana kejap lah.
Ya,
You pindah
betul.
sana kejap.
Dengan flight tickets ditanggung, makan ditanggung, I get to drive. That's
my
so
God.
amazing. I rasa macam best gila. Macam okay, I dekat Malaysia, I bawa kereta compact je. Kereta kecil je. Lepas tu pergi sana, tiba-tiba nak left hand side. Lepas tu I kena bawa macam MPV, macam van.
Yeah.
Bawa orang. So it's a
The
good...
pressure is more lah.
The pressure is
in a
more.
way.
Tapi I rasa macam okay lah. Sebab probably because I'm left-handed. First time I drive kat sana, I rasa macam natural je.
Oh,
macam,
natural.
Adakah ini negara I?
Is this my country, peeps? Aku dah duduk sini. But I feel you because, okay, I'm a right-handed lah.
Oh, okay.
So when I first went to the States, kan kena kiri, right? Kiri, betul lah kena kiri kan? Because you know when you belok kanan, when you turn, apa sih kalau kita mau ke kanan, you're supposed to go to this side of the line. But then we have to go to the other lane.
Betul, dia macam tu kan.
Berapa kali I masuk line yang opposite tau. Aku almost kena langgar. I was like, oh, okay. Because I didn't know the difference. And then like people honking me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean, I do have an international license. But other than that, when it's your first time, it's kind of crazy. I mean, especially you're bringing someone. There's like other people's life, you know, on your
The
shoulder.
pressure is a lot.
Oh yeah, the pressure is pressuring. Okay, so how about, okay, out of all... Okay, I don't know. I kind of assume that you went throughout the whole continents, or is there like a specific continent yang you tak pernah pergi lagi?
I rasa so far I dah cover semua. Tapi bukan semua negara lah. Macam kalau macam Afrika tu macam Morocco dah lah. Yang lain tu tak pernah lagi. Macam Oceania, I just only covered New Zealand. Lepas tu... yang lain tu macam adalah cover sikit-sikit. I'm planning to cover more countries in the future. InsyaAllah kalau ada rezeki.
Amin.
Yeah, amin.
Alright, so how about your favorite trip? Okay, I'm going to have like I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Like very, very fast question. You have to answer it in like less than 3 seconds. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. What's your favorite country?
Iceland.
Okay, that's very specific. Or Iceland. Okay. When the country that you have the most memorable trip?
Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, that I want to ask this one question, but it's a bit negative. And it's kind of like, we don't want that.
Takut. Apa tu?
Which... I'm changing my question.
Okay.
I'm changing my question. Which like dekat mana you suka dorang punya people, like which citizens do you like most?
Oh my god, ini agak susah sebenarnya sebab orang Switzerland pun baik, tapi orang Pakistan dia macam sangat lovely.
I just need like one answer.
Okay.
One word question.
Okay. I'll go with Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay. Now we're going to go back first. Iceland. Why Iceland? Give me like simple one. Why?
Magnificent view.
The Iceland is the aurora, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's like a dream.
Yeah, you tahu tak masa I pergi tu, terus nak cerita panjang
Boleh.
Masa I pergi tu, I rasa macam lucky gila sebab masa I pergi tu, the first day that we arrive to the airport, kita dah nampak aurora dah dekat luar hotel.
Bestnya.
Yeah. Lepas tu lagi 2 hari nak balik, kita orang dapat encounter another aurora. Lepas tu the last one is paling special. Kita orang dah naik flight. Masa tu kita nak ambil flight daripada Iceland, Reykjavik to Heathrow lah, to London. Lepas tu tiba-tiba dah naik dah, kapal terbang tu dah naik tau. Lepas tu tiba-tiba lampu tutup. Semua orang macam, kenapa ni kan lampu tutup? Baru naik lampu dah tutup. Lepas tu tiba-tiba pilot tu cakap, okay, there's aurora outside, so please open your window and enjoy the aurora. So I dapat tengok aurora dekat atas kapal terbang.
It's like you're going through the oh my god.
Masa tu macam oh my god, bestnya.
Oh, that's such a dream.
Yeah,
you dapat video tak?
Gila. Ada.
Really?
I'll
Okay, share. Oh my god. Okay, so that's Iceland. So why next, why do you like Pakistan?
Pakistan, okay, first negara dia, it's very cheap.
Oh, is it?
It's very, very cheap.
Affordable lah.
Affordable is understatement, I rasa. It's cheap. It's cheap. You can spend like 6,000 ringgit, including flight, makan, driver, hotel, apa semua.
How many days tu?
For 12 days.
That's like setengah bulan in a way. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Including souvenir apa semua. And they are very nice people. Diorang macam kalau you macam borak-borak sikit kan, nanti diorang akan bagi you chai free.
Oh my god, really?
Borak sikit, lepas tu diorang speak Urdu kan. Lepas tu I memang suka macam borak dengan orang and learn their language. So I macam cakap lah macam, macam mana nak cakap macam ni in Urdu. Lepas tu diorang ajar. Lepas tu macam, okay lah, I dah haus lah, nak minta chai sikit sebab chai is famous there.
True,
lepas tu dia cakap, okay ni berapa? No. My pleasure, just minum je. Macam diorang adalah orang yang sangat baik dan friendly. Tapi macam the view memang priceless. The view boleh setanding Switzerland, Iceland, New Zealand. The view boleh setanding those countries. Cuma you cannot expect macam diorang punya public transportation or diorang punya facilities tu macam as good as those countries lah. Sebab diorang not as developed as those countries. Tapi orang-orang dia sangat baik, sangat friendly. Lepas tu dia macam sangat apa orang kata unexpected lah, boleh kata macam tu.
What do you mean by unexpected? Like how?
Okay, sebab masa I pergi Pakistan tu, dia punya kita lalu jalan tau. Kita tak naik. The ultimate destination, the highlight of the trip is Skardu. Okay. Sebab Skardu dia ada macam bukit gunung-gunung yang tinggi-tinggi.
Is it yang macam view dia cantik from the road? Oh,
you boleh nampak gunung Himalaya apa semua tu.
You climb?
Tak. Tak tengok daripada jauh lah. Macam admire daripada jauh je. Macam cantik macam tu. So kita orang guna by road. I tak nak naik flight. Okay. By ride you boleh je naik daripada Islamabad to Skardu, to Hunza. Diorang ada airport. Tapi I cakap tak nak, kita nak naik kereta. So kalau bulan 1 sampai bulan 6 you boleh guna Besham route sahaja. Besham ni is the most dangerous highway in the world.
Okay, so that one is bulan 1
sampai bulan 6. The rest of the year, you boleh guna Naran route.
Why? I mean,
it's wired that way lah basically. I tanya diorang pun diorang cakap, it's just the way
that's
works.
just the rules lah.
That's just the rules lah. Macam tu. So I pergi tu, I kena guna Besham Road. It's the most dangerous highway in the world, Alia. You tahu tak kenapa?
Why?
Sebab highway dia dah lah dekat tepi. Dia macam gunung tau. Kita melalui gunung. Lepas tu bawah tu terus gaung tau. Tak ada divider.
Genting could never.
Genting could never lah.
Genting could
macam
never.
Tu. Lepas tu tiba-tiba you macam jalan-jalan, tiba-tiba dah tak ada jalan tar dah. Batu-batu dah. Lepas tu tiba-tiba dia jalan tar balik. Tapi tiba-tiba ada air terjun. Yang tak ada longkang, tak ada apa. This is just water flowing.
Wait, so when you guys pass through it, memang air terjun lah? Tak ada jalan, tak ada apa?
Dia jalan tapi dia tak ada macam, bayangkan kalau macam ada air terjun, patutnya adalah macam saliran air, ada longkang supaya air tu tak jalan.
Like a drain.
Air tu tak lalu dekat atas jalan tu.
But it's like passing.
It's like that.
Oh my God.
Lepas tu you tengok tepi tu kau macam
Did you guys like stop and I don't know, soak your feet?
Kaki I memang ada imaginary break. Betul tak?
Imaginary break. Oh my God. Okay, well, did you go alone or it's like
tak, I ada pergi dengan lagi seorang. And kita orang ada lagi seorang macam driver lah kat situ.
Definitely lah. Cannot drive alone.
I can't remember nama dia apa. Tapi dia cakap orang panggil dia Bila. Bila in Urdu is cat. Maksudnya kucing. I tanyalah kenapa? Kenapa orang panggil kucing? Dia macam dah pakcik-pakcik tau. Macam kenapa orang panggil you kucing? Sebab dia kata kucing kan kalau ada obstacles ke apa kan, diorang pandai elak kan. So he's like that. He's very skillful.
Okay.
Very skillful. So macam kalau ada lubang ke apa-apa kan, you tak rasa, you memang tak akan langgar. Dia memang tak akan langgar lubang tu.
Wish,
macam
on point.
Power. Abang, if you're watching this, you memang bagus.
You're amazing.
I salute your driving skill.
Meow.
I sampai tak ingat your real name. I bagi Abang Bila je. Bayar Bila macam tu.
Branding.
Betul.
His branding is on point. His branding is on point. Okay, that's amazing. I think you mentioned earlier that you like to learn new languages. So, how many language can you speak now?
Tapi I suka belajar, tapi tak adalah fluent tau.
Okay.
Dia macam biasa-biasa je. Kalau setakat thank you, welcome, hi, good morning tu I tahulah. So I rasa so far yang I sempat belajar and orang willing to ajar. Sebab I macam tak nak belajar beforehand ke apa ke. I suka macam
on the go
and macam kalau I jumpa orang yang best I terus yang macam boleh layan I punya perangai macam okay, boleh tak ajar sikit macam tu. So I dah belajar macam cakap Jerman, I belajar cakap French, Guten Morgen,
Bonjour.
Lepas tu Urdu, I belajar cakap Tamil, I belajar cakap apa lagi hari tu my last trip I pergi Russia. So I belajar cakap Russia juga. I suka sebab I rasa macam selama ni kita macam tengok movies kan, diorang akan macam selalu portray yang macam Russian je mob, Russian je jahat, mafia semua macam tu.
The hottest mafia in the book talk from Russia lah.
Betul. Tapi sebenarnya tak. Orang Russia macam sangat-sangat baik dan friendly. I mean, diorang cannot speak English. And dekat sana you cannot use Google. You have to use Yandex. Diorang punya Google version of diorang lah.
Their Google version.
Your Google version. Lepas tu kita akan try lah macam cakap through Yandex apa semua tu kan. And then bila kita dah cakap dengan dia, lepas tu macam barulah kita macam macam mana nak cakap good morning, macam macam ni, macam mana nak cakap thank you, spasiba bashol.
It sounds like Spanish sikit.
Betul. Dia macam spasiba bashol tu, thank you very much lah, macam tu.
I see.
So macam seronok lah bila you get to talk with those friendly people. Sebab masa I pergi Russia tu, I pergi seorang-seorang Alia. Seorang-seorang je I pergi. For 18 days, I seorang-seorang.
18 days?
Yeah.
Aku almost tersedak tadi. 18 days? What do you mean? In Russia alone?
I pergi seorang-seorang.
Okay, wait. I think we can cover that on the next, like, any episodes after this. Because
ni kita baru intro.
Because I think it'll be like so amazing, guys. Like 18 days alone in Russia. You know, the country that people will usually think Russian mob. I mean, no offense, but mafia. But that's amazing. Okay, tak apa. We will continue that later, okay? Like in the next few episodes. But I realized that you mentioned countries that are not rarely being spoken of. You know, for example, Switzerland. A lot of people wants to go to Switzerland, obviously, because it has a very, mashallah, amazing view.
Betul.
But it's very costly. And then next would be like Pakistan. Again, it's not often mentioned about travel. And then there's Russia as well. So, you know how nowadays, I wouldn't say younger generation. I feel like everyone nowadays, we just prefer to go to places that are more well known. For example, like Korea, Japan, and nowadays people are going to China because I feel like China looks amazing right now. And then there's also probably kalau in that particular continent, apa nama tempat tu? Turkey. Turkey, people go there. So what makes Buku Merah different? Is it like because you guys memang suka pergi travel tempat yang jarang orang pergi, atau memang you guys actually cater all kind of people who wants to travel to anywhere, atau memang your customers, your clients are just very eccentric? So which one is it?
So basically macam betul lah yang you cakap, orang pergi Korea, orang pergi Jepun, and now orang banyak pergi China because it's trending there now kan.
Yes, betul.
Kalau tengok TikTok je, Yunnan lah, Kunming lah, tempat-tempat macam tu kan. But actually dia punya reason is because I'm a new company. Project Buku Merah Vacation is a new company kan. So macam bila kita buat trip yang travel agency lain dah buat, so dia macam the persaingan, the competition is very high dekat situ. So that's why I sebagai seorang owner, I have to think of how can I compete dengan company travel agency yang dah lama bertapak, yang famous, yang macam ada modal besar-besar, yang pekerja 200-300 orang, yang sebulan trip bertantan, berkoyan-koyan punya trip kan. So
back to
back punya trip. Macam mana I company yang baru ni macam nak cuba untuk bersaingan diorang. So I rasa to compete dengan diorang, I have to sell something unique. I kena jual something yang tak ramai orang jual.
Faham.
I can really have a target market macam tu. So that's why dekat company I, sekarang kita orang memang mainly focus on New Zealand. Nampak macam semua banyak je company buat New Zealand. Tapi tak banyak company yang buat New Zealand naik motorhome.
Wait, naik motorhome? I don't know if it's correct, but motorhome is like where you drive van.
Yes, caravan macam tu. Yang dalam tu you boleh tidur, you boleh masak, ada toilet dalam tu.
Sounds interesting.
Sebab banyak je company jual trip pergi New Zealand, tapi it's going to be
luxury trip.
Luxury trip lah. One is luxury trip lah. Tapi kalau you nak pergi yang macam modal rendah sikit, you boleh pergi New Zealand tapi you naik bus. Naik bus 35 orang, 40 orang. So macam tempat tu sangat cantik tau.
Tapi you tak boleh nak enjoy sebab yelah macam ramai-ramai.
Macam tu. And kalau luxury trip pun usually you akan ada macam most probably you akan ada driver lah. Kalau you berani drive sendiri, then it's fine. Tapi selalunya ada driver, diorang ada cut off time yang macam pukul 7 I kerja satu hari 12 jam je. I kerja satu hari 10 jam je. So macam bila you pergi sana, dia macam
macam tu je.
Kita dah kena balik macam tu. Tapi kalau you bawa motorhome, you nampak you plug drive sendiri. We have like self-drive motorhome, kita ada convoy motorhome, kita ada yang driver, you boleh hire driver sekali kan.
Okay.
So kalau macam kat sana, I tell you, dekat New Zealand tak ada satu tempat pun yang tak cantik.
Okay,
macam tepi jalan you tengok lalang-lalang yang tak dipotong pun cantik.
Dia tak macam kat sini lah, lalang macam ular.
Tapi kat sana tak, dia macam cantik sangat-sangat.
It's like there's a filter.
Betul.
It's not your eyes.
Pasal kalau you nampak lalang-lalang tu, you shouldn't be worried lah. Sebab kat New Zealand, dia punya tanah, dia punya sulfur content is very high.
I see.
So takkan ada binatang-binatang berbisa.
Unlike in Australia.
Yes sir.
But that's interesting. So how many days? Oh no, you know what? No. I think I find it very interesting. You know, caravan. It's not caravan. What do you call it? Motorhomes, right?
Caravan is okay.
So, this motorhome. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to cover this in the other episodes, guys, because I find it very intriguing. Like, what do you mean? I've been to New Zealand, but it's always been macam, like a typical with your parents, datang situ, going on a holiday, duduk hotel, balik, shopping, balik, just those kind of things. So I think let's cover that on like other
Betul.
episodes. Okay.
And actually I ada ni, I ada another product yang I mainly focus apart from New Zealand motorhome.
Okay.
Kita orang juga jual trip Trans-Siberian Railway Journey.
Trans-Siberian is in Russia, right?
Yep.
Russia, China. Betul kan?
Starting from China, from Beijing to Mongolia, and last dekat Russia lah. Tapi the trip yang I jual ni start daripada Mongolia je.
Okay.
Start pergi Mongolia from Ulaanbaatar, the capital. And then kita last kali dekat Moscow.
Oh.
So it's a new and adventurous experience lah, I would say. Sebab Allahu Akbar.
Tak apa lah, relax. Jangan nervous. It's okay.
Sorry terbatuk. Mohon cut dia nanti.
Tak ada. Proceed.
Tak, okay. Yang bestnya, okay, daripada Mongolia sampai ke Russia, you boleh experience naik sleeper train.
Is it a sleeper train like the one when we go? Is it I think KTM yang kita gerak daripada sini ke Kelantan area yang ada bunk beds? Is it like that?
Betul.
Okay.
Cuma dia punya experience is something different lah. Macam kalau you daripada Malaysia pergi Thailand, Thailand dengan Malaysia ada different time zone ke?
Tak lah, sama je.
Sama je kan? Macam tu.
I think like 1 hour difference.
1 hour difference.
You know what? I forgot.
It's okay. Tak apa, benda ni dekat juga. Nanti nampak tak mahu.
Tak apalah. It's okay. We've been transparent here.
Mohon maaf lah. Kita terlupa. Dah biasa pergi jauh-jauh.
Lepas
tu bila dekat-dekat macam tu tak ingat lah. Sebenarnya macam tu je lah.
It's okay. No worries.
So, apa yang menariknya, kalau you travel daripada Mongolia, daripada Ulaanbaatar sampai ke Moscow, you akan tempuh 6 different time zone.
6 different time zones?
6 different time zone. Because Russia
crazy.
is too big. It's too big.
God. Okay, how many time zones are there in Russia?
I rasa there's 5 different time zones. So along the route tu, you memang akan rasa macam, bukan tadi dah pukul 9 ke?
Okay, kalau macam kita pergi kan, we have our phones, right? So it's going to be like change automatically. But kalau kita pakai jam analog yang biasa, means you have to keep changing. Oh my God.
Betul.
That's insane. How about the connection though? I mean, I know that we're supposed to talk about this in another episode, but I'm kind of like curious. Macam mana you tahu, what do you call that? Macam kita kan kalau from one country to another country, we have different provider, cell phone provider, internet provider. So how do you go from
pakai
one country
to je. Simple.
So it's easy to do roaming lah.
Easy to do roaming lah.
Daripada you buy from one to another.
Betul. Sebab I ada masalah yang macam kalau I dah cabut SIM card tu, I letak kat belakang.
Memang hilang.
Lepas tu hilang. I tak tahu. For some reason dia lari lah. Dia lari. Padahal dah lah belakang phone ada casing. Aku tak tahu macam mana dia boleh hilang.
It's too tiny.
Too tiny.
And nowadays, let's just use eSIM.
Ada eSIM juga. Banyak juga yang benda-benda macam tu. Tak payahlah nak cocok. Lepas tu, satu, kalau SIM card tu stay, lepas tu lubang nak cocok tu, macam jarum nak cocok kan, kita pula tak berhijab. Macam tu.
Yelah, kalau
macam you cabut jap, cocok kan, macam tu. I tak boleh. Macam tu. So macam kadang-kadang SIM card ada tempat nak cocok tu pula hilang.
Lepas tu macam tu lah. So roaming or eSIM lah, whichever is simpler kan. Oh my God, that's actually a very interesting ni. But how do you, macam in Buku Merah, what kind of travel do you prefer to suggest to your clients? Like, is it backpackers or is it like luxury? Macam you said kan, contoh kat New Zealand pakai motorhomes, right? So is it considered as luxury travel? Like, can they bring their luggages or must they only bring a backpack? Macam backpackers ke? Macam mana?
Tak ada masalah pun. Kalau dekat New Zealand or dekat Trans-Siberia tu, you boleh je bawa luggage you. Sebab kalau you pergi dengan kita orang, there will be people yang akan tolong you dengan benda-benda tu. Tapi in terms of macam mana tu, I macam tak kisah pun kalau orang tu nak pergi backpack ke, kalau bajet lebih kita boleh bagi yang mewah sikit. Tapi apa yang I pentingkan is kita tak nak bawa trip yang rushing. Sebab I nak orang betul-betul fully enjoy. And then I tak nak bawa ramai-ramai.
So what's the maximum per trip? I mean, for these 2 packages that you have, what's the maximum?
16 orang je.
16 tu ramai lah. I thought it's like 3 to 5 people.
Like compact tu macam Itu dah paling maksimum Alia.
16 lah.
Tapi kalau you nak pergi start daripada 2 orang pun kita bawa. Kalau ada modal lebih nak pergi seorang, nak one to one dengan I pun boleh. I tak ada masalah. Tapi yang paling-paling maksimum open trip lah kan. Selalunya kalau company lain kalau buat open trip selalunya 35, 40 satu bas kan. Ini I akan ambil 16. Tapi I bagi bas yang untuk 35 orang juga.
Oh, really?
Ya, supaya orang selesa. So kalau,
macam satu orang satu.
So you nak lunjuk kaki ke, nak terbaring ke apa, tingkau lah kau nak buat apa macam tu.
Okay, interesting. Can you do packages as well? Like you mentioned earlier, if you add more, you can do luxury. So what is usually I don't know whether you can disclose it, but what is usually the lowest amount that you can go for a trip like that?
Kalau macam New Zealand, kalau you nak bawa motorhome, 4,999 dah boleh jalan dah.
Ringgit?
Ya.
Seriously?
Ya.
Tapi tiket kan mahal.
Tapi tak termasuk tiket lah.
Aku dok ingatkan termasuk tiket sekali. I was about to book my trip now. Okay. But it's considered okay lah. That one's for how many days usually?
That one is for 10 days.
10 days. So like you mentioned earlier, you tak nak rushing. So the minimum is 10 days lah. I see.
Sebab tak best tau. Sebab dulu I perasan sebelum COVID, travel is actually quite affordable.
Betul.
Dulu you boleh dapat tiket sebelum COVID lah sebelum COVID you boleh dapat tiket pergi New Zealand. I rasa below 2,500 you dah dapat dah return. Betul. Sekarang kalau you dapat 3,700 tu, itu dah kira jackpot dah.
Bersyukurlah kau.
Dah kira jackpot dah sebenarnya. Tapi yelah after COVID kan, with the emerging of the urge, orang dah 2 tahun kena kurung kan, semua orang nak pergi, so it's supply and demand lah kan.
Supply and demand, true.
So kita dah tak boleh dapat harga sebelum COVID lagi dah. And then alamak, aku lupa point aku cerita apa tadi.
Actually aku dah lost juga sebenarnya. This is why it's dangerous to keep talking and not taking points. People take that to note. Okay.
I ingat. Apa? Okay, so the trend before COVID,
before COVID and after COVID, the price range.
The price range
search
is one lah.
Okay.
Lepas tu you boleh nampak the pattern. Kalau dulu sebelum COVID, orang akan buat macam selagi boleh cover. Macam contoh kalau
rushing
orang rushing macam kalau contoh orang pergi Balkan kan. Balkan dia akan pergi, I nak pergi Balkan yang 9 countries.
Ush. Berapa hari? 10 hari?
Dalam masa berapa hari? 14 hari contoh. 9 negara. You tahu tak kalau nak pergi Balkan tu, dia bukan macam Schengen area. Walaupun dia Europe, dia bukan part of Schengen area. So kalau macam Schengen area, you tahu je aku dah pergi negara lain. Aku dah masuk negara ni dah.
It's like naik train je, aku dah kat mana ni?
Aku macam I pernah naik train daripada Switzerland pergi Paris. I tak tahu pun I dah masuk Paris. Sebab soalnya kan kalau macam kita nak pergi Thailand pun kita kena stop kat border.
Betul.
Chop. Tapi dekat sana tak perlu.
Di straight je.
Tapi Balkan tak. Balkan dia macam tu. Balkan from one country
lah
to another country, you kena stop immigration, kena chop apa semua macam tu tau. And then trip tu macam dia jadi macam check in check out lah. You sampai, you check in, besok pagi you bawa turun balik luggage. Lepas tu
penat lah.
Betul. Tapi dulu orang memang suka macam tu. Orang memang suka lagi banyak aku boleh cover, lagi bagus macam tu. Kalau macam Europe 9 negara, daripada Switzerland daripada London pergi Paris pergi Jerman pergi Belgium pergi macam tu lah.
Dengar pun penat.
Dengar pun penat kan. That was the trend before COVID. Memang macam tu. Orang selagi aku boleh cover, aku akan cover. Pasal I rasa diorang pun rasa macam dulu is quite affordable, so diorang boleh pergi. Kalau okay, ni aku akan cover semua, next time kalau aku macam suka negara ni, aku akan stay situ je macam tu. That was before.
Betul.
Tapi sekarang after COVID, I dah perasan orang tak minat sangat itinerary yang macam too rushing. Too rushing macam it's tiring sebenarnya.
Betul.
Yelah, you check in check out, lepas tu naik bus, pergi pula trip bus 35 orang, naik turun. Semua tempat lah you nak cover. Lepas tu last ujung-ujung kan, okay kita dah sampai tempat ni, tak turun bus pun, daripada dalam bus dia ambil gambar.
Macam aku dah tak larat. Apa-apa je lah, whatever.
Kita kat mana ni? Okay ambil gambar. At least macam check dah sampai.
Oh my God.
Tanda hadir. Macam tu.
Asalkan pasport terstamp.
Yeah, asalkan pasport terstamp. But what I realise, the trend now is orang suka macam kalau pergi tempat tu, orang enjoy. Fully,
feel the culture,
fully
meet the
immerse
people.
with the place. Macam tu kan.
I see.
Lepas tu, dia jadi macam, yelah macam kalau pergi Paris, it's nice kalau you rasa you sempat lah nak ambil gambar dengan apa tu, Eiffel Tower tu.
Faham.
Tapi kan sekarang kan orang macam nak rasa croissant dengan hot chocolate.
Betul,
macam tu.
the best
Kalau
ever.
kalau tapi betul tu croissant. Last side story. Tapi betul
No worries.
croissant dekat sana, you tahu tak? Lain gila.
Hmm.
Even you pergi makan yang macam you di hotel.
Tapi jalan pun it's so
Tak,
cool.
you makan dekat hotel yang breakfast buffet tu, kan dia macam mass produce ke apa.
Ya,
tak tahu.
ya.
Itu pun rasa lain dengan Malaysia. Serious saya tell you.
Tapi ada satu this particular country. Am I allowed to say? But whatever, I'm going to say it anyway. The croissant is as good as the one that I've tried in Paris.
Mana
Do you know
tu?
where?
Where?
Dubai. But I don't know whether it's the hotel that I'm staying at because when I went the last time I went to Dubai, I usually stay at Versace. So I'm not sure whether memang dorang punya tu lain ke macam mana. But it tastes as good as the one. I even tried the one in Armani. Armani kan yang bawah Burj Khalifa. But it's so good because and then this one is like biasa pun. I don't know. I can't say biasa kot. I don't know. Do you know this particular branch in Dubai? The particular hotel branch. Apa nama dia? I forgot. Dia macam ada merata tempat juga. But do you know any like the name?
Shangri-La.
No, not Shangri-La. Dia memang. Let me Google it. But that aside, dorang punya croissant is so good.
Faham.
Like that's outside of Paris, ya. Itu kayaknya sorry. Dah tukar bahasa. But it's like one of the best one I've tried as well. So pergi Dubai best ke?
Faham.
Tiba pergi Dubai. Have you been? I mean like ada tak buku merah ke sana?
Ada je, kita ada bawa. Cumanya I rasa sebab you rasa kat Dubai is as best as France. Sebab Dubai kan negara kaya, I rasa diorang import je chef daripada sana. Itu sebabnya. Awak
Betul
pula stay dekat hotel yang macam mana? Versace, Armani. Memanglah best.
That's the only thing they have in Dubai.
Oh yeah? Okay.
There's nothing else. Aku duduk Versace macam everyone is there at Versace. So macam
Noted Alia.
No, I mean, okay, if you've been to Dubai, guys, if you've been to Dubai, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Either you stick with that lifestyle or you're like a pauper kat tepi jalan, okay? So there's no other choice. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I love how we have like, because I realize that I would say Buku Merah and you yourself, macam ni bagi I lah, like you buka Buku Merah, you organize this company because you have a different kind of travel adventure than anyone else that I've ever met. Like the people in my circle, I would say we prefer to, macam travel to relax, tapi at the same time kita orang macam like it's a hassle, okay? We don't want to like pindah from one place to another.
Betul.
That's kind of like crazy thing. But I realized that your company, like Buku Merah, is different because you guys are doing something that I've never heard before. Okay, I've never heard about the Trans-Siberian line. I think that's amazing because you get to travel to a few other countries and you also cover what 6 different time zones. That's insane. You're going to be like so tired, jet lag, train lag, and there's also the caravan. Sorry, not motor homes. Okay, so motor homes in New Zealand as well. So I think that's makes it different. That makes Buku Merah different from other travel agencies as well. What do you think? Is it correct? Is my summary, is my assumption correct that you're doing Buku Merah because you wanna tell people that there's other ways to travel as well?
Betul.
Not just like satu jalan tu.
Betul. So the idea behind project Buku Merah Vacation is to macam bagi orang macam mission sebab Buku Merah is our passport lah, warna
Malaysia's
merah.
passport,
Malaysia
right?
passport lah, warna merah. So the idea is to get as many stamp as possible lah. Macam tu. So macam kalau macam Trans-Siberia, okay, you dah dapat 2 chop dah. Satu Mongolia, satu Russia. Macam tu. Sorry, ada lagi satu, Belarus.
Tu lah 3 kan?
3, you akan dapat Belarus sekali. So macam it's very interesting lah. And my macam ni nak cakap, my aspiration is to let people travel. Memang kumpul stamp is one thing. Memang seronok bila you macam selak
Pasport aku habis.
pasport aku penuh. Oh sini ni sini. Tapi I nak macam bila diorang tengok stamp tu kan, macam actually I sempat makan croissant dekat sini. Dekat sini I try. Macam dekat Russia diorang suka makan daging kuda tau.
What?
Yeah.
Daging kuda?
Yeah, diorang suka makan daging kuda.
How do they sembelih kuda? Oh, that's like a very offensive, but how do they do that?
I tak tahu lah. Tapi diorang punya national food macam daging kuda. So macam you boleh cerita macam, I pergi Russia, I dapat rasa daging kuda. I dapat masa I pergi Russia hari tu, it was during winter. So macam dekat Lake Baikal is the largest freshwater lake in the world.
Oh my god.
Tapi masa winter kan, I told you masa I pergi it was negative 24.
You did?
So masa I pergi sana
No, I sebenarnya sejuk tau sekarang ni. So I macam that negative 24 tu out of my brain.
Yeah, out of your brain
Di
kan.
24 punya aircon pun aku dah beku.
So dekat Lake Baikal tu masa winter dia beku. Masa summer you boleh naik cruise tau atas lake tu. You boleh naik cruise atas dekat Lake Baikal tu. Tapi during winter you boleh jalan atas lake tu.
Can you ice skating there?
Boleh. You boleh ice skating. Lepas tu dia ada buat ice sculpture.
That's so
you boleh fishing. Macam-macam you boleh buat kat atas.
You like macam Frozen, you open the lake and like
you boleh naik kereta atas tu pusing-pusing. Macam it was very interesting lah.
Okay.
So macam tu lah, I nak orang macam bila tengok kat stamp dia tu kan, bukannya macam contoh macam trip yang Russia ni macam okay, Europe 9 negara. Pergi mana? Adalah Europe lah. Seronok lah. Boleh lah. Tapi penat macam tu.
Dia just penat.
Dia penat. I nak orang pergi kan, orang macam okay, tengok stamp ni, I pergi sini. Tok masa winter dah lah sejuk, I boleh naik. You bayangkan I jalan atas air, apa mukjizat pun tak tahu bila ada kat sana kan. Macam tu lah.
Like miracle.
Miracle betul lah. I boleh jalan atas air tau.
Kau ada.
Macam tu lah. So bila diorang tengok stamp dekat pasport tu, diorang boleh rasa macam I had good memories with this.
With these people. So if, contoh lah, let's just say I want to book a trip with Buku Merah. Will you be the tour guide, or I mean, since you're the founder anyway, you'll just
hopefully kalau I tak busy I boleh attend you lah. Tapi you request lah. You macam I nak band. I nak band and only band.
So we can actually request that.
Yeah, boleh.
Oh my god, that's so nice. Okay, because I never travel with travel agency. Actually, I just go pergi je. So that's actually interesting. You can choose the people, and because sometimes it's hard to macam okay lah, you pergi and then macam you're not vibing, so
not vibing
not
kan.
fun.
Faham?
I like your vibe.
Thank you. Tak, pasal I rasa pun macam our age kan selalunya macam, yelah kalau you nak travel, you macam buat apa you nak ambil travel agency, sebab you can book your own flight, you can book your hotel, you can do your own research, and you still have the energy to travel. Macam kalau tersalah jalan ke apa ke, macam it's easy for you to navigate lah, sebab you macam tahu nak guna all these technologies kan. So my target market would usually be people yang macam 40 and above.
No, tapi honestly, even if we're saying about like the age age group, age limit, I would, after listening to what you're saying, I would prefer to go with you guys. Because, no, I mean, kau ingat aku rajin nak tengok satu-satu Trans-Siberian punya tu mana aku nak cari. And then, and the other thing will be motor homes, for example. I'm pretty sure there are different provider, different company that provides motorhomes, and we don't know which one is good. What if tiba-tiba I datang, especially I'm a woman, right? I'm a girl, suddenly aku datang kena scam. Aku kat gambar bukan main cantik tau. Tapi when I got it, it's like filthy. We don't want that. So I feel like going with you guys is safe in terms of safetyness, and plus if you want to go alone, if you want to go like with other people, like 2-3 orang for example, you have like this travel buddy that knows everything, you know. Macam, is it Doraemon? No, Doraemon have everything in their pocket. What do you call that? Yang macam ada je, aku tanya kau boleh jawab kind of ni character.
You're walking Google lah kot.
Yeah, it'll be like Ben Google. Benagle. I don't know what you can call that.
Betul lah, I faham lah. So macam I pun macam suka, macam I ada juga, bukanlah macam 40 and above je my customer. Kadang-kadang yang muda-muda pun ada juga. I pun tanya juga, kenapa you nak travel dengan I? Macam it's the vibe lah.
Betul.
Sebab kita boleh buat cerita kelakar-kelakar, and macam kita faham each other. Lepas tu boleh cerita, I tahulah kalau macam 40 and above tu dia macam mana cara nak handle. Kalau yang 60 and above, macam mana nak handle. Kalau muda-muda ni sampai malam pun nak jalan lagi kan. Macam tu. Macam make the trip worth lah. Macam tu kan. Sampai malam pun tak apa, I layan je, suka layan. Not much company yang buat macam tu.
So technically your Buku Merah trip is tailored to every single client's need.
It's fully
customizable. It's very customizable. It's not like a one-time thing, and you get to travel to other parts of the world, which is like I wouldn't say non-famous, but non-viral places lah, yang macam they must be really pretty and all. So we've been hearing about stories, like stories, countries he went there. But in your personal opinion, Ben, what is the funniest experience you've ever experienced?
Okay, I tahu. Ada satu ni masa tu pergi Iceland tau.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. I think we're reaching the time limit.
Okay,
macam takut panjang sangat, nanti orang bosan. So I think we can bring this to the next episode. Okay? For the next episode, we're going to talk about Ben's funny experience in Iceland. Right?
Betul.
Betul Iceland?
Betul.
Not other country.
Bukan, Iceland.
Next one, you're not going to change your answer tiba-tiba negara lain?
Hopefully not lah.
Because he has 22 countries, guys, to cover. That's a lot. Okay? So technically, next week, it's going to be about Ben's funny experience. That's it for this week, guys. It's Sembang Terbang, real stories, real mishaps. Bye-bye.
Bye.